everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name's Acacia. Today I'm going to be doing my December mid-month wrap-up. I've read 13 books, so I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. Not at a book a day right now, which is okay. I'm fine with it. I'm not reading every single day. I take days off to spend time with my partner because he's wonderful and he spends time with me, and I just like being around him as much as I possibly can. So yeah, let's dive into the books. They are in order of least to most enjoyed as always, and let go. So the first one I feel kind of bad about. I liked it okay. I didn't feel bad about it. I just didn't love it. And I feel kind of weird saying that because it's a YouTuber that I watch and I feel like I really like this YouTuber and I really respect them. I just didn't love the book, and that was YouTube Secrets, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Followings and Making Money as a Video Influencer by Sean Cannell and Benji Travis. As much as I appreciate this book, and I got some good tips and tricks from it, and I partially opened my Patreon account because of this, and the whole thing was, I really want to make this my career, however I can do that, and I don't want to lose my following, and I don't want to lose my base, which is you guys and my solid people. So the thing for me is I really want to become a larger channel, whether that mean, you know, 50,000 people or 1 million is completely beyond me what we're gonna do. It's a book channel, so I know it's gonna be a smaller margin, but I would like to be able to make it so that I can freelance and make this my priority, and be able to work with publishers, be able to work in the book industry and do all of that in a more kind of personal way, and to create a job for myself that I feel I love, and that will involve me going back to school and getting some more education in the English field and so on and so forth. But really what I was hoping to get from this was some tricks, like tips and tricks, and the Patreon was not an exact trick, but it was in the ballpark of ways to make money. For me, I haven't monetized because I feel like I can't control the ads, and I don't want you guys to see something that could trigger. And I also feel like I just don't have a large enough following that I can make enough off of that. So, you know, going through this book was helpful, and it was valid, and it made some sense, and I'll get more out of it, but I think this is not for a booktuber. I think this is for someone who has a broader audience base in terms of like a makeup guru or a vlog or a gaming group. So I think that there's things that I don't have because I've picked this genre that I wish I did, but I just don't think they're there yet. I don't think it's a capacity yet. So I want to be on the forefront when it happens because I know that it could happen. I don't know how to get there. So I'm working on it, and this book helped me in some ways, but in other ways it just felt like tips and tricks from somebody who would already have a base that I wouldn't have, because books don't start with that base of a large following. They start with a smaller base no matter what. And I am so grateful for each and every subscriber. I'm almost at 2,000. I'm so stoked. I feel so blessed, and I love you guys. And the thing for me is that I never want to disappoint you. You are my group. You're my core. And so what I do to keep you guys happy. I do it to keep myself happy too, but like, you guys are my main focus. So, you know, I didn't want to sell out to make my channel better. So I'm trying to figure out how to not sell out and to, you know, keep the product the way that I want to and as genuine as possible. So that's where we're at. Next Next, we have Shirley Jackson, Raising Demons, this sequel to Shirley Jackson's first book, Life Among the Savages. This is, again, Shirley Jackson's real life. It's a nonfiction. It's a memoir. I like it okay. I don't love her nonfiction writing as much as I love her fiction writing. I don't feel it's as good. I think I go to Shirley Jackson for the creepy aspect, and there is no creepiness in this. It's pretty easygoing and pretty lighthearted, so I definitely enjoy it. I love Shirley Jackson. I've read all but one of her books. I'll read that one next month, maybe even this month. I don't know. But, yeah, so it left me feeling a little meh. But I enjoyed it fine. Like, it didn't disappoint. It just wasn't what I would love. It was about what the first one was. So I feel okay about that. Then this is The Road to Jonestown, Jim Jones and People's Temple by Jeff Gunn. People raved about this to me, and I enjoyed it. However, I was left feeling really cold and dissociative, and it really rattled me and left me feeling completely uncomfortable. So that's not entirely the book's fault. That's the subject matter. I really like the writing style. I really like the premise, the cult idea, the whole conversation about it, but it just left me feeling ick, and so I just can't give it too many stars because it left me feeling so uncomfortable and gross and grimy. So I liked it. Then we have Evicted, Poverty and Profit in the American City. This is by Matthew Demoine. So Matthew follows 8 families in Milwaukee, and these families are struggling to put a roof over their head. This talks about the money situations in America and how we do rent and how we expect people to get housing and how much we expect people to pay for housing. It was news to me how bad it is, and the fact that I've seen other people in different countries talk about this and feel that it's appalling how bad it is leads me to believe that we could be doing better. And I will admit that the conversation of being someone who has a lower income bracket really leaves me in a situation where if I didn't have my parents, I would be homeless. And I am aware of this. I am fully aware of this because I don't make enough to even pay for a roof. I make enough to pay for some, if I were to pay for food, my medicine, and my doctors, I would not have enough for rent. I would barely have enough for those things. So that, you know, puts me in the poverty bracket, but I have a loving family that keeps me above water, which is amazing, and I'm so grateful. But overall, I know where I would stand if I didn't have them, and this book really kind of shed a light on that for me and how bad it would be. And some people are that bad off, and it's just terrifying. It's unacceptable, and it's completely uncalled for, and it left me just appalled. So I liked the book. It didn't like make my life change because it was a lot of information I feel like I had, but it still left me pretty shattered. This is The Bus on Thursday by Shirley Barrett. This is the story of a woman who gets out of a relationship and she blames the cancer and the demons she has. And it's really a dark book, and it's really twisted, and it makes you feel really unnerved and uncomfortable, and it's depressing, and it's really valuable. It's got a lot of value to it. I feel it's a really important book to kind of address and to look at someone's life after they've been diagnosed with a terminal illness. I enjoyed it. It was weird. but the writing was quite good. I felt really connected to it, and I felt really emotional about it. I would definitely recommend this book. I just would say maybe this is a library book. It came straight to paperback, so it is $15. If you have $15, it's worth it. Like, it's definitely worth picking up. But if you feel like $15 is a lot, I think there are other books that are $15 that are more worth your time. I think that this is definitely worth going to the library, though, and picking up. I liked it quite a bit. Then we have A Mother's Reckoning, Living with the Aftermath of Tragedy by C. Klebold. I listened to this. It was heartbreaking. It was hard. It was tough, especially with the current gun issues that are going on, and Columbine really being the original school shooting, or at least one of the more original school shootings, one of the most well-known school shootings. I felt there was a lot of blame placed on the boy that wasn't Dylan, and I felt like there was some hate within Dylan that was recognized and addressed, but not fully understood. And it left me wanting to know Dylan's side of the story rather than just what we saw in his journals. But then again, I don't understand the psyche of someone who would go out and murder people. It doesn't make sense to me. So, for me, it just feels so foreign and so unachievable to understand that I'm left completely confused. So, it was a good book. I liked it. It was interesting, and it's very prevalent for today's current climate. But it was really hard. It was really hard. Then the next two books are audios that I listened to. The first one is Always Look on the Bright Side of Life by Eric Idle. I really enjoyed it, but I felt it was a little more British than I would have liked. It was very funny. It had a lot of good points in it. I liked a lot of the information. It talked about Monty Python and Monty Python's Flying Circus and Holy Grail and all of that. So there was some interesting stuff, but there was a lot of name dropping of British actors that I had no idea who they were or what they were doing. And a lot of world people that I had no idea about. So it left me feeling disconnected and a little bit disheartened because I felt like I was missing the joke quite a bit. But overall, I liked it pretty well. So I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're someone who is British and likes Eric Idle. It's really going to be best for you, I think, because there's things that you'll know that I didn't know. The next book is Becoming by Michelle Obama. If you notice, this is not in my top books. I didn't love it. I read it in a day and a half, and I felt like it was a celebrity memoir. Like, I really think it was important and valuable and intelligent and bold and very important and very valuable, but I felt like it was a celebrity memoir, and I couldn't help but feel that there are other women in America with stories much like Michelle Obama's that weren't First Lady who could give that kind of information. And that are that bright and that important and valuable, who don't get their story heard. And it was also hard to see her go high the entire time instead of going low. There were just moments where I wish she would have gone a little low. Granted, that's not Michelle's way. She doesn't go low. She never goes low. But I just wish there were moments where she kind of told us a little more about the bull, the people that were cruel to her, the people that called her names, the people that, you know, were shady and then wanted a picture with her. I just wish that there was more accountability held for those people. But I understand why she didn't give names, and I understand why she wouldn't put them on blast. It just, I don't know. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. So I liked it. It was solid. I have it on audio. I'm picking it up in hardcover, so I'm gonna own it in 2 formats, and I'm happy about that. I'll reread it, and maybe I'll like it more the second time around. I don't know. Then we have We Can Save Us All by Adam Nemeth. This was sent to me by Unnamed Press for review. It came out November 13th. This is cults and apocalypse. It was a lot of fun, and it was very dark, and I read half of it and I didn't like it, and then the second half saved it and I loved it. I really like Unnamed Press. I love their books. I feel very strongly about their books, and I really wish they would get more hype and praise. This one is totally fun in terms of like story. Like, I really enjoyed it. So I would definitely recommend this one. It was a good one, and I'm very happy I read it. Now, this one, I won't watch Split, but I will read the nonfiction that Split was based on. And I did. This is The Minds of Billy Milligan by Daniel Keyes. So, this is a story of the man that Split was based on. This is terrifying. I can understand how this would cause people to see DID as a dangerous and damaging disorder, but it is one person, and his alters were unbelievably dangerous and had a very dangerous response to trauma. That is not the case usually, and I would definitely say that this is something that would explain his trauma in terms of like what happened. Like, his trauma definitely caused these splits, and they are completely logical splits, and his pain definitely could assess the need for people to be this dangerous, but it's not the norm. It's not the average story. It's not how we mostly all respond. This is a single incident, and I really enjoyed the book because it was so informative and it gave me so much to think about. But I think that overall the person was bad, not the system was bad. So I think that the core was not as great as it could have been, and that was why the system was fractured and damaging. There's that. I read The Friendship Cure by Kate Lever, Reconnecting in a Modern World. I adored this. Absolutely loved it. This is a nonfiction talking about friendship and how to maintain friendships in this world with social media and all of those things, and talking about likes and dislikes and all of those things, and how to survive a regular friendship. And it was so informative and so interesting. I really enjoyed it. The friends that I have, I find even more important to me now than I did before I read this book. And the people that have abandoned me in the past and left me alone without their friendship, I feel much better knowing that that friendship is terminated. It made me feel a lot more content and at home with myself and my values and my idea of who I want to put into my life and my circle. I'm very happy with this book. I highly recommend it. It is brilliant, and I definitely enjoyed it. All of the books that are here on out, I would say, are a definite must that I really loved. Bitch Doctrine by Laurie Penny. I absolutely loved this. This is an essay collection that takes place from 2013 to 2016. It talks about the election, it talks about gender, it talks about sexuality, it talks about politics. It's epic. I adored it, and I think it's so important and so valuable. I really want to read Laurie Penny's first collection. I think it's called Unmentionable. No, I think it's called Unspeakable, Unthinkable, something like that. And I really want to get my hands on it now. I really like Laurie Penny. I read her essay in What Future, and I really liked it, so I was glad to read a full essay collection. It was brilliant, and I absolutely adored it. I really loved it. Buddy Read with Amanda Center, whose channel I will link in the cards. This is Shirley Jackson, The Birds. One of my favorite books of last year. Definitely one of my favorite books of this year, but it won't be in my top 10 because I would put it in last year's top 10, and that would be silly. So, absolutely adore this. This is about a woman who is having time loss and issues with her identity, and she goes to a therapist to see about what she can do, and things begin to come out during therapy sessions. That's all I'm going to say. I really enjoyed this, and I definitely would recommend it. It's Shirley Jackson's, it's my favorite Shirley Jackson. Yeah, it's my favorite Shirley Jackson, so. Then we have Nancy Tucker, that was When People Started to Worry, Windows into Unwell Minds. I will link my review up in the cards. Really love this. Definitely one of my favorite books of the year. Absolutely wonderful. Follows 7 different mental illnesses, discusses them all in depth. It's just wonderful. Really loved it. And then my last book, the one that I liked the most, Things Fell. And then the last book, the one that I loved the most for this month, was Little by Edward Carey. I adored this. This was wonderful. This is the story of Madame Tussaud and her life leading up to becoming Madame Tussaud. It is brilliant. It is heartwarming. It is very short chapters. I love short chapters. They make me very happy. So that is good. I definitely recommend this. If you can get your hands on it now, I would. If you feel like you want to buy one hardcover, I definitely think there are other hardcovers that are more favorites, but this will be making it into my top 10 of the year. So if you want to know like where that kind of value would be, this is in my top 10 books of the year. I'm very glad that I purchased it when I did. I'm happy. So there are all the books that I read this month so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have started a Patreon. I will link it down below in the description. If you guys want to donate, that would be wonderful. I always need some help. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd love to click that subscribe button down below. I will talk to you in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.